Hey guys, it's Wes again, and I will be sharing a little bit about my testimony for faith. One of the first acts of faith that I have ever gone through after my salvation a couple years ago. This is actually my calling to preach and actually calling to back to Florida where I'm at now. I was in the music department and things were not going so well, and it looked like I was gonna get cut from the music department, get kicked out for something that I didn't do. I was wrongly accused of something, but I'm not gonna get into that. That's not really that important. However, I was so mad at the situation. I came back to my house and I started just cussing up a storm, and I was so mad. And I was like, "What are you doing? What am I supposed to do?" And finally, something clicked, and I said, "Remember, you're a Christian. Why don't you talk to God about this?" I was like, all right, I'll do this. So I read my Bible and I just started reading and I started talking to God, and I was like, "God, what do you want me to do with my life? What is it that you're trying to tell me?" And then he said, "Well, you remember how a couple of years ago you said if something bad were to happen in the music department, I would go back to the calling of preaching? Back in the 7th grade, I felt a calling to preach, but I didn't ever pursue it. And I felt that something like this was telling me that, okay, slap in the face, you need to go to seminary and go be a preacher." So I said, okay, I can do that. And I didn't know exactly what to do. And eventually God was just like, "Wes, I want you to go to Florida, and I want you to go talk to this particular college minister over there, and I want you to get involved with them." And I said, "Okay, I guess I can move to Florida. All right, I'll do that. All right, let's do this." So now, I'm the kind of person that's very controlling. I want to make sure everything's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, I have backup plans, backup plans, backup plans. With God, I always have these backup plans. In case he messes up, I got his back. That's sarcasm for those of you who don't know. Anyway, so I excuse me, I'm getting over a little bit of a cold. When I talked to God about this, I said, "All right, God, I'm going to sign up for all my classes at Alabama, and I'm going to, in case it doesn't work out over in Florida, I'm going to still have my financial aid, and I'm going to have everything that I need, all the classes that I need to get into the school, and I'll still be able to go to school. I'll be able to keep my health insurance. I'll have a place to live, etc., etc." Well, later on, I felt God say, "Wes, you need to trust me. You need to have faith. Delete those classes. I want you to completely trust me and say, I'm going to Pensacola, and just delete those classes." I was like, "Oh, that's just me talking to myself, thinking dumb things. I do that a lot." And eventually I realized, you know what? That's God talking to me. I'm going to go and do this on faith. So I looked at those classes online, and I was like, "Oh man," I was just thinking, and I was like, "All right, I'm going to do it. Fine. Delete." And I deleted all the classes. Now at this point, it's past time. It's around, I guess, the end of November, beginning of December at this time. So it's going to be hard to get those classes back. Well, Christmas comes along. After Christmas comes along, it's probably about the 28th of December, I guess, and I get a personal phone call from the university that I'm trying to get into, and they say, "I'm sorry, you are not accepted into the University of West Florida." And I was just like, "Are you serious? Why?" And they said, "Because your transcripts, your high school transcripts were not good enough. Your ACT was not good enough." And I said, "Okay, God, what the heck? What are you doing? I, I, I did what you told me to do. I deleted those classes. Why aren't you letting me stay here?" And I freaked out for a minute, and then finally one of my friends got on Facebook, and I was just kind of ranting to him, saying, "Man, they didn't do this, and they didn't do that, and blah, 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 and I didn't get into the school, and I tried to sign up for my classes back at Alabama, and barely got those in." And then after I got done, God was like, "Wes, trust me, delete the classes." And I rolled my eyes like, "Oh, fine, I'll delete the classes." And I said, "All right, God, here's the deal. I'm either going to Florida or I'm not going to school." And as soon as I said that, that was when I talked to my friend, and he was saying that hey, maybe you should tell them to check the transcripts and whatnot. So I did, and I said, okay, cool. I'll check those transcripts. So I called the department over at the university, and I said, hey, can you guys double check my transcripts? I just want you to see if everything's okay, everything's right, making sure I had enough credits, because if you have more than 60 hours, they don't look at your high school transcripts. I'm good in college. I was bad in high school. And guess what? They made a mistake. God wanted me to live by faith, and God wanted me to completely trust Him and just give it all to Him and say, all right, God, I completely trust you. And it was looking so hopeless. It was saying, they said, you're not in the university. It's not going to happen. And what happened? I'm in the university. I'm heading to seminary school this next fall. I'm so excited. It's so amazing the things that God has done in my life, and I can't wait to share more with you. So this is just a little short testimony about one of the acts of faith, and next time I'll talk a little bit more about it. So thank you so much for listening to me today, and hopefully I'll get some good comments. Thanks, guys. Bye.